In the heart of the Middle East, there is a small strip of land called Gaza. It is a place filled with ancient history and the vibrant culture of its people. But today, a deep and painful story is unfolding here. It is a story of hunger, a man-made famine that has gripped its population, turning everyday life into a constant struggle for survival. The markets, once bustling with vendors selling fresh fruits and vegetables, now have empty shelves. The air, once filled with the aroma of spices and baking bread, now carries a heavy silence. The current famine in Gaza did not appear overnight. It is the result of a long and painful history of conflict and isolation that has lasted for many decades. A strict blockade, imposed for over 17 years, has controlled almost every aspect of life. The blockade has slowly strangled Gaza's ability to be self-sufficient. Its farmers once grew delicious strawberries and tomatoes, which were exported to other countries. But restrictions on exports and access to farmland have destroyed this important industry. The fishing community, another key part of Gaza's identity and economy, has also suffered greatly. Fishermen are only allowed to fish within a very small, restricted zone off the coast. This area is overfished and often polluted, meaning they come back with very small catches. For the people of Gaza, every day is a battle for survival, a constant search for the most basic things needed for life: food, water, and safety. Families now survive on whatever they can find or afford. Often, this means a small portion of bread if they are lucky enough to find flour. The water crisis is just as severe as the food shortage. Families often have to walk for miles to find a water distribution point, where they might wait for hours to fill a small container. The water they get is often salty or dirty, but they have no other choice. The healthcare system, which should be a place of healing, has collapsed under the immense pressure. Doctors and nurses are working in impossible conditions, performing surgeries without electricity and treating countless patients with injuries and illnesses related to malnutrition and poor sanitation. A woman named Haiba, a mother of 4 living in a crowded tent in Rafah, shared her story. "Before, my kitchen was always full of smells. I loved to cook for my children," she said, her voice quiet. "Now I spend my entire day looking for food. Yesterday, all we had was a piece of dry bread for each of them. My youngest son Ali keeps asking me when we can have chicken again. I don't know what to tell him." 10-year-old Omar, who dreams of being an artist, now draws pictures of tanks and bombed buildings instead of flowers and sunny skies. "I don't play anymore," he said quietly, sitting near the ruins of his school. "My friends and I look for wood to make a fire for our families. We are always hungry." Pregnant women and new mothers are in a particularly desperate situation. With hospitals destroyed and clinics closed, they have no access to prenatal or postnatal care. Malnourished mothers are giving birth to underweight babies who then struggle to survive. A midwife named Fatima described the heartbreaking reality. "We are losing mothers and babies every day from preventable causes." As the humanitarian crisis in Gaza has deepened, the world has been watching, and its response has been a mixture of condemnation, concern, and frustratingly slow action. The UN Secretary General has warned that the people of Gaza are facing an epic humanitarian catastrophe and has urged all parties to uphold their obligations under international law. On the ground, humanitarian organizations are doing everything they can to help, but they are facing enormous obstacles. Aid convoys are often denied permission to enter Gaza, or they are delayed for long periods at checkpoints. Humanitarian workers have been killed and injured, and their warehouses and vehicles have been damaged. The International Court of Justice has issued provisional measures ordering an end to military actions that could violate the rights of Palestinians in Gaza. These rulings are legally binding, yet the situation on the ground has not significantly improved. This highlights a major gap between what international law demands and what is actually happening. Gaza's suffering is often called one of the world's longest ongoing tragedies. The core reason for this unending pain is the failure to find a just and lasting political solution to the wider Israeli-Palestinian conflict. For generations, this issue has remained one of the most difficult and sensitive challenges in international politics. The people of Gaza are caught in the middle of this larger struggle. The cycle of repeated violence ensures that the tragedy never truly ends. Every few years, a major military confrontation erupts, causing immense destruction and loss of life. Each war pushes Gaza further back, erasing any small progress that might have been made. The infrastructure that is painstakingly rebuilt is destroyed again. Even in the darkest of times, the human spirit holds on to the hope for a new day. In Gaza, amidst the rubble and the hunger, This hope persists. It lives in the quiet determination of a doctor who continues to treat patients with no supplies. It is found in the courage of a mother who sings a lullaby to her child to drown out the sounds of war. The first and most urgent step to turn this hope into a reality is to end the immediate suffering. This requires an immediate and permanent ceasefire to stop the killing and destruction. It means investing in a future where children in Gaza can go to school without fear, where young people have opportunities to build a career, and where families can live in safety and security. We, as a global community, have a choice. We can continue to watch from a distance, or we can raise our voices and demand action. Let us work toward a new dawn for Gaza, one where the silence of hunger is replaced by the laughter of children, where the rubble is cleared to make way for new homes and gardens, and where the long shadow of war finally gives way to the bright light of a peaceful and hopeful future. The time to act is now.